Today I have Dan Robbins with CarProz out of Western Chicago. Dan got his wholesale dealer license with U.S. dealer licensing. What, Dan, you said a little over 10 years ago?
It's got to be 10 plus years, correct? Yes.
Great. Well, why don't you tell us a little about you and where you were before you found U.S. dealer licensing and what you were thinking on the wholesale auto license, what that looked like for you?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks. So appreciate it. Years ago, I've been in the auto industry about 20 years. Believe it or not, I started out as a GM mechanic, and then we opened up a dealership, a retail dealership, and we had that dealership for about 12 years. Problem with retail dealerships is it's a 24/7 business. So you're there typically 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes you can be there until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And between buying cars, fixing them up, getting them frontline ready, and dealing with all the paperwork and all the nuances that go along with a retail dealership, it's very tasking, and you are at the dealership quite a lot. We had that for several years, did very well. However, just wanted to pare down the lifestyle a little bit and enjoy life instead of being at a dealership and thinking about a dealership 24. So I went into the wholesale business. The nice thing is with a wholesale license, you're not under the obligation of having a specific facility and having all types of overhead when it comes to that facility, gas, light, heat, water, and really just maintaining that facility alone is very expensive. So the nice thing with wholesaling is all that goes away. You do have the opportunity to retail cars. However, with a wholesale license, you cannot legally, and especially here in the state of Illinois, you cannot do that legally. So what I have done, and I suggest to others with the wholesale license, is I do have a very good friend who owns a retail facility for auto dealerships, and basically I give him my cars that are frontline ready, and he will retail those cars for me and do all the advertising, which is also very expensive. And typically what we do is he will sell the car for me or sell my vehicles along with his vehicles. And he does like that because it does fill up his lot a little bit, and they'll get some really good trades typically off the sale of my vehicles too. So it's a win-win situation all around. And the nice thing is I'm not spending 24 at a facility and maintaining a facility. We have a fantastic relationship. The other thing too, sometimes we'll buy some cars, we'll fix them up and get them frontline ready. A lot of dealerships don't have that availability of doing that. So we will actually make these cars what they call frontline ready, meaning the cars need absolutely nothing. There's no check engine lights on, the brakes are good, the tires are good, you've changed all the fluids, and really the car is ready to be put up for sale. And we have a few dealerships that like to purchase these cars from us, and because they trust us that this vehicle has been made frontline ready and they don't have to do it. So yes, they'll pay a little bit more for the car. However, they don't have to do any reconditioning costs. And then we sell them the vehicle, which is completely legal and in regulations with a wholesale license. And they will put that car on their lot ready for sale. So with a wholesale license, you do have the opportunity wholesaling to other dealers. However, the best thing about it is you do not have to be at a facility specifically. You don't have all this overhead and all the worries of actually running a dealership. But again, if you are going to retail cars, you cannot do it with a wholesale license. You will have to make a relationship with a retail dealer. And then in essence, what you do is you will sell him that vehicle, and then he has the right to sell that vehicle to an end user.
That's a very good point, Dan, because a lot of people, when they are researching just the auto industry as a whole, they don't understand that difference between wholesale and retail. And
Yes.
You mentioned you've got great relationships with dealerships. And also there's the facet that if you wanted to, you could buy from an auction and sell to another auction, doing exactly what you're doing, getting the vehicles front line ready. Interestingly enough, I came from the retail side of auto industry as well. I shared with you when I
Sure.
joined U.S. dealer licensing. But so I completely understand what you're saying about you never know how many hours you're going to be and the paperwork intensive. With that being said, you've owned a business. You've done a lot of that paperwork. You have people that work for you that probably did a lot of it for you. Why did you not just go and try to get your wholesale dealer license yourself And how did you find U.S. dealer licensing?
So back in the day, the possibilities for a wholesale license was not made available. Back when I started, it might have been available, to be quite honest, but I knew nothing about it. And when I've, been had the dealership for many years, I believe when I found U.S. dealer licensing, it might have been an ad, to be quite honest, over the internet or a phone call. And then when I heard about wholesaling, then I start looking more into it, and I'm like, well, this makes a whole lot more sense. And there is a lot of risk owning a dealership, as anybody knows. And really, what I wanted to do was increase my lifestyle and minimize my risk. And again, I'm not a 20-year-old anymore. And with U.S. dealer licensing and having a wholesale license, it was the best. It really is the best of both worlds.
Well, thank you for that. We, our branding is U.S. dealer licensing, driving the American dream. I see how you flip from retail to wholesale. To us, driving the American dream isn't some corny saying, because it brings a different story to everyone's family or their own individual being. With that saying, does it have any kind of personal meaning for you in your business?
It does. Everybody loves making money, and money, it's fun to make money. But I will tell you this, there are very good people in the auto industry. And like every other industry, there's bad people too. But if you are, you're conscientious and you're willing to do the work, and, sometimes you might get a bad vehicle that you've sold. And if you're willing to be upstanding, and you might have to take that vehicle back, because something happened to it and you wholesale it to another dealer. But if you, within building these relationships and building the lifestyle and the American dream, absolutely is possible. It does take a little training, a little help. However, you will find a lot of people that will help you in this industry. They're not going to give you all the knowledge, that's for sure. But with U.S. dealer licensing, you will find the help that you will need through them. Again, the American dream, can you make money doing this? Absolutely. Can you make great money doing this? Absolutely. Again, but you have to be real, you have to be conscientious, and you have to be willing sometimes, to take a vehicle back or lose a little bit of money. But that's when people look at you and go, I love doing business with this person. So again, the American dream is here, and you can do what you need to do with a wholesale license.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to record with me. And I think you gave some very positive advice for someone who might be looking at both the retail or the wholesale side.
Yes, absolutely. I'm willing to help in any way I can. Again, I'll be quite honest, U.S. deal licensing has helped me through some scenarios as far as title work that I needed to have done. You guys are the best of the best when it comes to having a wholesale license. I've seen a lot of other companies out there. I've been with you guys, well over 10 years. I don't know exactly how many years, but I've seen a lot of companies come and go when it comes to wholesale licensing. And I'll say this, the reason they come and go is the sincerity and the help, and they're just looking at the dollar amount, not looking to help their clientele, that's for sure. And you guys are great at helping the clientele.
Well, we appreciate that. We are very committed to your success and any other new dealer that comes on. So I appreciate you giving those kudos.
Hey, thank you.